JP today. I guess he's on night shift.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. And I've been pestering him to come on, but then I remember the times I've had night shifts before and just how fucked your sleep is. And I don't want to be like, hey man, stay up. Like, yeah. So you can be here with this groundbreaking podcast as me and Rob make dick jokes for 2 hours. Like, yeah. So, Rob Anton, Canadian correspondent, TPC 130, 10:08 a.m. Eastern time. What the July 6th? Is it July 6th? July 6th, 2020. Is that right?
July 6th, yeah.
Yeah. I can't hear you that well.
July 6th.
There we go. TBC 130, July 6th, 2020, 10:09 a.m. Eastern time with Rob Anton, Canadian correspondent to TPC. And for everyone listening, this podcast is available on Spotify. The link will be in the description and the sticky comment. It's also available on BitChute, which is an uncensored version of YouTube, and it's available on DTube, which I assure you is not gay porn. It is a Switzerland-based blockchain. I don't know what the fuck it is, man. I'm too stupid. I figured out BitChute. I'm a monkey. I figured out the squares go in the square and the circle goes in the square. I have no idea what DTube is. I don't know. It's got all those buzzwords, and I don't know what they mean. Crypto, blockchain, decentralized, peer-to-peer, Sprite. Like, I don't... It's all above my head. But, yeah, man. How are you doing?
Nice. I'm all right. Just chilling.
Looks beautiful there.
Yeah, it's quite nice today. That's why I decided to do it on the balcony.
Quite nice today.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
So,
beautiful day.
Let's just fucking jump to it. Kanye West is running for president of the United States.
Such a fucking scam.
Oh, I know, man. It's brilliant. He's gonna use it to sell some records or some shit, or yeah.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
No, I think it's probably like Trump. I think he's probably throwing his hat in the ring just to...
Dude, as soon as I said it, like, I mentioned it to my girlfriend, and she's like, that's some fucking bullshit. Like, she's not even from North America, and she's like, he's just siphoning off, like, votes.
Yeah. Not that too. He is doing that, but I remember, like, didn't Trump run a couple times before? Like, not all in, but I, like, vividly remember watching the roast of Donald Trump in the frat house. I think it was my sophomore year, so it would have been 2010 to 2011. And I don't remember
in 2000.
Yeah, I don't remember how. Yeah, I don't remember how old that roast was, but I remember watching him. And I always kind of knew who Trump was. He was just he's a figure. You know who Derek Jeter is, right? He's just kind of he does something. But I remember watching him. And him being like, it was like a funny joke. He's like, what's the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald Trump's hair? A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion fucking dollars in the bank. And I was like, that's kind of funny. And then he's like, I will go down as the greatest president in the United States because I'm rich. And I just remember thinking like, man, what a douche. And like, not really thinking anything past it. But yeah, it's always been this sort of like, it's like a quick, free popularity grab for whatever it is.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a two-pronged thing. It's like...
You think him and Kanye are in cahoots?
I guarantee there is some fucking back chatter.
You think he and Kanye are in cahoots? Yeah, I don't think it's as innocent as...
No.
Well, first of all,
the last we heard from Kanye was like Trump. He was like all in for Trump. And then he just fucking disappeared, basically. And then now suddenly he's back being like, I'm running. I guarantee it's like Trump's like, oh, just give me like 4 more years and then like we'll fucking I'll boost you.
Yeah. It's there's definitely a couple tiers to it in my completely uneducated fucking bullshit podcast opinion, me and Rob. But
I feel like shit's just getting so blatant. You have to be fucking like stupid as shit to not be able to put shit together. Like, it's so obvious.
Yeah. Like, so what I was going to say is, like, it's one thing to, like, run for president. That in itself is, like, yeah, sometimes people do just throw their hat in the ring just to whatever. Maybe you think you can do a better. Yeah.
Definitely.
Whether you think you can do a better job or whether it's just, you know, the true human desire for power and being above the law. Okay, well, that's whatever. Then there's the next tier, the second tier, and that's using it with no intention to win, but using the election, the campaign, as for ulterior motives. Be it someone like Trump, who's just, they thrive being in the limelight, an investor, a real estate developer, a television personality. Or anyone in that vein, just like they're running for. I wasn't actually serious, you know, but they're getting something. Whether you're running for president and then just so you can jump up to the next tier in the Senate, whatever. There's
advertising.
Yeah, advertising, and then the third tier is running with every intent to win, and those are the guys that often lose because they're too into it. I don't think Kanye is just. I don't think at first I thought this was like tier 2, like he's gonna use it to drop an album or something. But now, yeah, as you're saying it, I'm thinking like, I think he's definitely in cahoots.
Well, the thing that kind of, if it was just him, like just the thing that really got me was that like Musk also was like, yeah, go Kanye.
Wait, what?
And I'm like, yeah, apparently.
I did not know that.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong.
Keep talking. I'll look it up.
I might have been fake news, but
hey, we've all been fake news.
Yeah, no.
Well, keep talking. I'll look it up.
But that would make sense to me because he keeps his nose clean by not endorsing Trump, but simultaneously wants Trump to win because then he can make more money.
Who, Musk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It benefits him.
Yeah. Because I talked about this yesterday with my buddy Brad, and we're like, Musk is Tony Stark in that he's one of the few people in the world where like his life is better by not being president. There's only like a handful of people in the world that like their life would be better not being president in terms of money and power, because it's like Tony.
I think it's bigger than you think, that handful. I think it's like a fucking couple people's handfuls.
Okay.
Nowadays.
But in terms of like the vast.
That's the thing. I don't think Trump was as rich as he fucking was when he ran. I'm pretty sure he was like, his fucking train was running on steam at that point.
Yeah.
When he clinched that presidency.
Sell the brand. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, after you're president, you can make bank. Speaking tours.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. It doesn't matter if you're the most far-right guy ever. If you've got a small business and you think you can get Obama to come speak because you're trying to further your own little whatever manufacturing monopoly in fucking Texas.
Yeah.
Because also it's just POTUS. There's POTUS. It doesn't matter who it is. I think, Elon he's like Tony Stark in that Tony doesn't want to be president because he is more valuable being able to be a fuckboy and just party and be an animal and be outside the law and just get those sick defense contracts, but also not be tied down by like legal and moral obligations. Not saying that's who Musk is, but like I don't think Musk would want to be president. I think Bill Gates would.
Give him anything.
Yeah, I don't
it's
think
a waste of his time.
Yeah, I don't think Bezos would either. Bezos might. He might.
He wouldn't need to be. He'd have no interest. It would just draw attention.
Yeah, I think
that's the thing.
Yeah,
these people make their money in the fucking dark.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You do not want to be out in the front. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
No. Anonymity is the uppermost tier of luxury. Vast majority of people hate it.
My uncle always taught me growing up, it's like stealth is wealth.
Yeah, stealth. I like that. Yeah, dude. It's
so you don't fucking act like you have money. And
you gotta. Yeah, because now, like where I am, like with my podcast, like wealth would be the ability to move the fuck out of my parents' house and not live with my parents at 29, almost 30. Right. With my podcast, the only way I can do that is by getting well known. That's kind of my only ticket out. But anonymity in itself, that is a luxury that you can't buy back. Right. I mean, you can go dark, but even then, you're not just being anonymous. You're Like right now, no one's saying, "Oh, Rob went dark" or "Tommy went dark." No one knows who we are. But what did we just say about Kanye? He went dark. So it's not even that you can be anonymous. It's that like, oh, where is he? So, being anonymous, you're right. That is, you can't buy that back. Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp, you can never get that back. But yeah, you're right. Elon, because Elon's not stupid. It's any of these billionaires know not to go. You never go balls deep on one side or the other with politics, because the amount of people that's going to gain is nothing compared to the amount of people you're going to lose. So like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this, but yeah. Elon definitely, yeah. He can endorse Kanye, and yeah, that's more of like a meme thing. It kind of seems funny, hip, without full on saying go Trump, right? Sorry, I've been cutting you off, Rob. I'm sorry.
No. I'm just letting you go. No,
yeah,
but like, yeah, that's like the first thing that came to mind for me. It was like, okay, well, he's going to benefit from like whatever tax cuts and all that kind of shit. And then, because like chances are, SpaceX is again just
Market Watch. Elon Musk throws his full support behind Kanye West for president.
Yeah.
Forbes. Elon Musk, Kim Kardashian endorsed Kanye West running for president. The Print. Entertainment Tonight. Fox. Mashable. USA Today. They've all got Kanye. Yeah. It's kind of like a surrogate, right? You can't.
Right.
Now, so do you think Kanye and Trump, this isn't just mutual benefaction? This is they met in a warehouse.
I don't even. It probably just a phone call.
Yeah. No, I know, but I like to pretend it's a warehouse on a pier,
Sure,
maybe
yeah.
in Boston on a rainy night.
Yeah.
With a bunch of
At a McDonald's.
Yeah, bunch of guys with machine guns, but they're in suits. Yeah, very off the books. Yeah.
It would make sense.
Fuck Fox News and CNN. You need your political news. You come to TPC with Anton and
They don't
Tommy.
do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to make some sense of madness, then yeah, why would you go to cable news? They're just gonna because I don't think the people who work there even think that way. Right? Those people are stuck in their own world.
Yeah.
Where they think things work in a certain way, like there's actually laws that work, or like any of this shit.
That it's real. It's real.
I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Right? It was like my dad. So with the COVID thing, there's been like a bunch of layoffs. I lost my job, and I told him, and he was like, "Well, the premier said nobody was going to lose their jobs." It's like, "Oh, did he? Oh, did he? Maybe I'll call him up and get my job back." Like,
fuck. Okay.
It's like, do you like draw the parallel between like politicians bullshit you all the time? Like you don't get to pick and choose what they say is true. Like this guy also ran on a platform that beer would be $1. That didn't happen. So like, why the fuck would anything else?
I was just listening to this thing. I don't know if it was right before World War I or right after. I think it was right before, maybe early, like 1900s. There's actually this like bill that got passed in like the Congress, and it was an outlawed war. And just listening to this like historian talk about it, not the historian, but him talking about the people at that time, it's like that Rick and Morty meme. Like Jerry coming out of the cloning machine. It's just Jerry patting Jerry on the back, and they're all just... Right. And it's like it went right through the house. Like there was like dinner parties in DC. Everyone congratulating each other. Like China and like Russia got on board, and everyone was like, brilliant idea. No more war. Like, yeah. That's what it sounds like is, yeah.
For 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. No more war. And everyone was like, brilliant. Like, brilliant. Oh, wow. Good job, sir. Yeah. So.
Well, like, I guess when I was young, I remember the moment where I was like, oh, like, it doesn't matter. like the laws and all that shit, like it doesn't matter
Matters
when
for
it's
us.
pertaining to like large, like individuals, sure, like bylaws and shit like that, yes. But like when it pertains to like one country to another, none of that shit means anything.
No.
And I first like realized that when learning about World War II, and learning about like Neville Chamberlain, yeah. And he's like, no, I talked to Hitler. He said he wasn't going to invade anybody. Okay, jolly good. It's just like, right? Like,
yeah.
It's like perfect. And then like reading, so I have basically a written account of my grandparents from when they were growing up to when the war happened, and then them immigrating here. And like the way my grandfather was a detective at the time, like during Slovenian occupation, and like he knew what was going on. Like he couldn't do anything about it because of where he was. I guess shit started popping off. He was like a king's guard when there used to be Yugoslavia. So the king of Yugoslavia, he was one of the palace guards, and he was a guard when the monarch got killed, basically. And he knew it was a scam. Like he knew it was like there was some fuckery because they put like a 9-year-old in charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
It's just like, okay. And and then like shit just started falling apart after that.
Yeah, it's like if someone starts like it's like when you start like invading another country and everyone's like, that's illegal. Like, dude, laws matter for everyone under the thumb of a larger power.
Right.
Once you get to a certain point, like when other nations like denounced America for nuking Japan, it didn't mean anything. Like, okay, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, so like when a country does something you don't like, you have to go stop it with or without their consent, against or with their will. You just have to impose your will on them, and that's war. When nothing else works, you physically go there and blow up their shit and start occupying their land. Not on paper. You fucking bring tanks belching smoke with guys holding barrels that shoot projectiles at people and kill them. That's how you start physically imposing your will. So when someone says you can't do that, no, it only matters when the person with the most power says you can't do that, because they can enforce it. America, you could say China, they can still fuck up enough shit. Russia with nukes. But like, yeah, the idea of like, well, you know, it's like space weapons. Like space weapons are banned. They've been banned since 1963, I think. But like, so like, what is a space weapon? A space weapon is
to you. There's already something up there. That we just don't know about.
Yeah,
like,
and what are you gonna do when the guy with the guy with the orbital laser, who you can't touch, just zaps you out of the sky like being smited by God? Hey, you can't have that. That is illegal. Well, I'm keeping it. Okay, well then we're gonna stop you. Well, he's gonna stop you with with his laser weapon. None of that matters, is what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, none of it fucking matters unless you have the will to impose it, right? Yeah. I remember the first time I kind of realized it was when I was living in Maine, my junior year of high school, so like fall 2007. I remember sitting at our computer. I think it was just John and I. I think our family went away that weekend up to New Hampshire, and it was just John and I. And I just remember I was like high as fuck, just like scrolling through Wikipedia, just like slack-jawed. And it was something about, because Bush was still president, and I remember it was like the first time it dawned on me that it wasn't like we're America and they're England and they're India. It was like I just got this like zap of like realization that like just like my house is just John and I in this structure on this parcel of land, but there's no walls around it. It's just this piece of land that we all agree is our house. It's almost like I like zoomed out and almost saw like a Google Earth view in my head. It was just like America's just this really big piece of property. It's someone's lawn basically, but there's a lot of people on it. And there's no like borders aren't actually real, and there's just a guy we've all agreed is in charge. and he's just talking with other world leaders who are the other most popular people in these big patches of Earth with people on them. And it was this sudden realization that, like, oh, these aren't distinct things like cells that are like separate physical. It's like, this is just a group of people who've kind of all agreed that this is our place, ourville, and that's you city, and that's themville. It's like,
yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's a weird, yeah. None of it, yeah. That's so, yeah.
The things that we think govern our world aren't really real.
Just human creations.
Yeah, like that's why I understand when people are talking about, like, do you think we're living in a simulation? It's like, maybe not literally, but like in our heads we are.
Absolutely. In our heads we overlay. Like, we all just kind of agree about shit. Like, Rob is in Canada, and I'm here. But, like, what does that even mean? Rob. Okay, well, that's a name I've given to this being. Like, if you just came and looked at all of us, when you get, like, a petri dish, you're not like, oh, look at that germ and that germ. You're like, look at the germs. If you just came down to Earth with no differentiation, no biases or prejudices, or I guess any cognitive separation of entities, physical or imagined, you would just go, oh, like, look at those beings, and there's one and there's one. You wouldn't go, there's Rob in Canada and here's Tommy in America, and if you asked what time what time it is, they'd say it's now, and we're like, no, it is July. Well, what the fuck is a July? 2020 of what? It's the year 2020. Well, we've been orbiting for 4 billion years, but it's 2020. What the fuck is that? It's summer. What? That's just, because our bit of rock is just tilted.
Even that, we've been orbiting for 4 billion years. What's a year?
Yeah, what is a year? Oh, it's the amount.
We measure our years by, like, how many times. Yeah.
Well, ours goes quicker.
But maybe something else measures by both, like, up and down.
Yeah.
Right? So to us, a year would be like the full rotation up and down of the Earth to where you're back in the same place again.
Yeah. And not only that, it'd be like, if you're just some entity, some disembodied, and you're just sentience looking at Earth, there is no day and night. Like, if you were just like 10,000 miles in space just looking at Earth, you would just be looking at this rock that was just being illuminated from one side. You wouldn't go day, night. It would just, there's always sun. You would never not see the sun. And there'd be this thing that when you look at your phone and, like, okay, part of it I can see light and there's a shadow. I'm not like, oh, there's night. I'm just, here's an object and it's being illuminated and there's shadow. It's all, and it's these things we've overlaid onto all of it. Like, we are in a simulation in our heads.
Because we have to, like, it's the only way humans can make sense of shit. It's like finding patterns and things like that. But you're limited to what you can experience. Yeah. Right? So, like, perfect example, there's in Ontario, in Toronto, there's a place called the Science Center. It's just like a science museum, basically. And there's this box in there, and I don't know exactly what they did with it, but it shows you particles firing through the Earth. Like, you can visibly see them.
Neutrinos.
Right? And there's, like, so fucking many things just, like, firing through us. Like, you're in this fucking building, in this museum, and there's this box, and it's just going, choo, 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 choo.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck? Like, we can't see those things without, like, just here as we're sitting.
Yeah.
If they're hitting us, they're going through us. All sorts of weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah, something like 100 trillion neutrinos go through your body every second, but they're like massless. It doesn't mean anything. But even other stuff that we just, it's sunny out. Like, I went for a walk this morning, and I was just like, but what is it like? I try to get quiet in my mind sometimes and just not, like, label the world. There's a tree. It's the morning. I have a podcast to do later. I am walking. I am exercising. Today is Monday. And just look at it. Yeah. And, it's like when you hear a song in a language that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And the vocals just become another instrument almost.
Yeah.
Like, yep, leave the umbrella, and you just like, you don't know what word is word. It means nothing to you. You're just going with it. Sometimes I like to do that where I just kind of observe and don't label it. And like, what was it really? I'm moving and I'm breathing. Okay, there's like this gas coming in and out of me, and it's getting warmer every like couple minutes. And it's because this big light is coming on. I'm on this thing that's just slowly spinning. Well, not slowly. It's only 1,000 miles an hour spinning towards this thing, and there's this big ass ball of fire. And it's like, I'm doing this today. Today is Monday. I'm Tommy. I have a job. I'm going to put my polo on. But like, even now, like you're sitting outside and there are trees behind you. And it's, oh, look at the trees. It's green. It's summer. But it's like, what is that really? If you just look at it, it's like, there's this massive piece of like broccoli looking motherfucker just sticking out of the ground. It's massive. It's completely autonomous. No one has to like remind it, hey, it's summer, it's time to bloom. It's just this thing that's just happening. Like birds are chirping. What is that? Birds are chirping. No, they're these weird little meat sacks covered in feathers that can fly, and they're just pew pew. They're shooting their own language at each other.
They used to be about like this fucking big, and they were bigger, right?
yeah, and it's just I mean. What is the atmosphere is what, something like 75 miles thick, but like in physics and chemistry, gases and liquids are the same. Like a gas is a liquid, so like we're sitting at the bottom of a 75-mile ocean, just walking on the ocean floor. 75 miles, 25 times deeper than the Marianas Trench. We're just walking on the ocean floor. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like winds are just currents. Like,
yeah, basically.
It's just waves. I promise I didn't drop acid this morning, but it's
everything you're saying is true. It's not like you're like, oh man, like
it's not an opinion.
You're right.
It's just,
it is.
Yeah.
It's like, and like if you've seen like lakes in the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, like underwater rivers and shit.
Yeah, it's the same shit. It's just another like. Something that has a different mass than water, but still is a gaseous liquid.
Yeah.
Like, people will dive into them from the water, and it's like it seems weird to us, but it's just the same as like going from air into water. Essentially. Yeah,
it is all so fucking weird.
Well, it's like, what's the difference? Like, this is mostly oxygen, the shit we breathe in. Like, it's a mixture of other stuff, but
nitrogen,
it's like
hydrogen,
oxygen, right? And then what's water? Just hydrogen with oxygen.
It's just
you know
dense,
what I mean?
Yeah, it's just
like,
denser.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't look at like the speaker on your phone playing music and the speaker on your Bose and be like, oh no, that one's phone noise and that one's a Bose. You're like, no, that one's just a lot fucking louder, but it's the same. I'm listening to the same song.
Yeah.
Like it.
And I mean, we know that you can still withdraw oxygen. We can't because of the way our lungs have developed, but like gills do.
Yeah.
Gills filter oxygen out of hydrogen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Out of H2O.
Yeah.
So it's not like these are kind of like, oh yeah, that's so crazy. No, like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like ears. Like you just, oh, there's your ear. But no, just really just examine it. Like whenever I'd get like take acid or something, I'd always just stare at my hands for a while. And not in some like, like, whoa, man, but really just look at them. And I'd be like, here's this weird kind of like softer than leather, but there's this substance on it. It's like a cloth almost, but it's denser. We call it skin. And inside of it are just these hard things. We call them bones. And at the tips of them, there are these weird hard shells almost. And it's like this weird, almost like little turtle shells. And if I think about it, I can move it. And like ears are these weird satellite dishes just made of flesh, just sticking out of our heads. And they're just picking up all these just vibrations, these spaces and condensations of vibrations of the molecules in air. I mean, like Terence McKenna said, like telepathy is real. I have a codex in my head, and I I can make my tongue and vocal cords just, it's almost like making like balloon animals, but it's just very quick. It's like super quick and it's super complex, but I'm making almost like balloon animals out of like vibratory patterns, and we call that language. And you know that one. You have the decoding, you have the cipher in your head. You get the piece of mail from the spy, and it says Alpha 1 Niner Bravo, and so you go to the key, you go Alpha 1. Okay, he's going to be here at this time and this day. But that's what speaking is you're getting these they're hitting your head. And you've spoken it for so long that it's unconscious now. But if you learn a language, you can, okay, he said wo bist du, that means, okay, who are you, or where are you? Like, was ist das? Okay, what is that? But you're getting the beam signal, and then you're decrypting it in your head. That's telepathy. We're just blaring telepathy at each other. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this, Rob.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, because like I have experienced that being somewhere where I didn't understand anything that's being said around me, and it does change the way you think. Like it's almost like a meditation, because you're like,
is that cat?
Because your cat wants to come.
Yeah.
You're focused so much because like when you're here, in a place where everybody speaks your language more or less, and that's mostly what you hear and read, you don't have to focus. Like you lose focus. That's why I think like when I went to Japan, it's almost like a meditation. You're almost living in meditation. Yeah. Because everything takes a little bit more effort. It's not necessarily like it can be exhausting sometimes. Yeah. But it's almost Zen-like. Like you don't hear people's stupid conversations. You don't hear unless you actively are listening. Yeah. It doesn't come. And so like when I came back, I was like overwhelmed. You just all like the suddenly signals. Understanding everything again. Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. Like, especially if you're in a place that doesn't like nobody speaks your language at all.
I never thought about that. Pretty much what Japan is like. I never thought of it
because there's no sign. Like the signs in English are very few and far between. So Japanese has 3 alphabets, basically. So you have to, if you want to get around, it helps to be able to read 2 of them. You'll be able to get around easier because a lot of the time it's English, but it's not English. It's like English words in Japanese. So you have to know because they have one alphabet that's for foreign words essentially, right? So if you go to there's a department store like a Best Buy basically, but it's called Bic Camera. So you kind of can figure out okay, Bic camera, all right, I don't get the Bic, but camera I recognize, but it's not written in English. It's written in the Japanese alphabet, the one it's called katakana they use for foreign words. So it's kamera. So Bic kamera, and sometimes you'll see they'll have their logos written in English, but it doesn't necessarily make sense in English. Yeah, so it's because they use English for advertising, but it's not English. It's Japanese English. Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost, when you go to a friend's house for the first time or something, and you gotta remember where the bathroom is, and it's yeah, dude, it's just down the hall, second left, and is in the first time you keep going into the closet, and you're fuck, and then. Or it's when you first move into a new place, and then obviously as time goes on, it just becomes this second nature, your inhabitants. But do you ever think back to the first time you came to a place you now know very well, and they almost seem like different memories? I can think about the first time I was ever in this house, when John and I drove up. It was 2010 or 11, and it was even though it's this, I'm remembering the same place. It's a very different. I'm remembering it completely different. I remember the first time I went to the gym and getting lost, and I can remember the same place, but it's almost I'm looking at something, but it's completely different. It's
perfect example is so I went to when I was living in Georgia, go to concerts all the time, and then when I came back up here, there was a concert I wanted to go to, but it was downtown, Toronto. I had no idea. I barely knew the city. Like, not the inner workings of the city. I knew where it was and how to get there, but like I couldn't find a nightclub. You know what I mean? Specifically.
Yeah.
So I drove in, and I remember like getting completely fucking lost with like one-way streets and shit like that. And then like years later, like probably 10 years later, when I was living here and then like doing my music business stuff, I would have to go to the club that I was like looking for all those years ago.
Yeah.
And I knew where, like, I could walk there right now, and I know exactly where it is. But like, I remember like standing on the corner, remembering myself being on this corner, panicking.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Pokemon. Yeah.
And your memory is of the exact same place, but your memory, for all intents and purposes, is a completely different place because you're like, oh yeah, it all looks so alien, and it's almost like. Do you ever pick up a video game that you used to play a ton and you got sick of it and you play it for the first time in a while? I did that with Just Cause 3 yesterday. Hadn't played it in months. Yeah. And like I think you and I talked about this. When you play a game for such a long time, it starts to like not become fun. You start to be like, I gotta get the award. I gotta do a better time. And you're like, you almost forget why it's fun. And then like you put it down, and like yesterday I picked up Just Cause 3, and like I've beat the game so many times, but in this iteration, like I haven't unlocked all the map yet, I haven't unlocked all the weapons and the perks. But it wasn't just like, fuck, I gotta go get the CS Predator and the CS 110 Archangel sniper rifle. It was just like, there's the shitty lime green helicopter, it's like a news chopper. No, I want the like quad engine, like the one that Dictator has. But like, no, I didn't do that. I picked it up yesterday because I've been playing something else for all of quarantine, and I picked it up yesterday, and I was just like, I like walked up to this helicopter, and it was just like, it was almost all so new. I like opened it, and it's like, I forgot that sound, and like, and it's taking off, and I can see the grass blowing under it, and I was like, whoa, and I was just like, and completely sober, but I was like, I got on it, I took a tether, and I like attached it to like a tractor. And then I parked it, and I got a fighter jet, and I attached a tractor to a fighter jet. And then I just took off full afterburners, and like 50 yards behind this fighter jet is just this like rustic 1900s tractor. And I'm just laughing hysterically. Maybe I was a little sleep deprived. I think that's what it was. But I was just like doing barrel rolls 400 miles an hour, and behind me is just this tractor just spiraling. And I was just laughing so hard. And like normally it was like, no, that's not even the best fighter jet. Why are you doing that? You got to upgrade the bombs. But instead I was just like, this is so much fucking fun. Like throwing grenades at people and just boom. And I was like, this is so great. And I was just like, oh, you got to take breaks from this shit. Because otherwise, like when you go back to it, it's like going to a different country. It's almost like everything is like, oh yeah, how do I change the weapons again? Oh yeah, you can blow up a gas station. Versus you've been playing it for so long, you're like, fuck, I gotta get this, I gotta get the right scope, and it's just like, it's becoming a job. And like, yeah. I don't know why I was saying that, but I even got on Ace Combat.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. Like, you just do something too much.
Yeah.
It's the same, like anything of too much or too much of anything is not good. Right?
Yeah.
You get used to it, it gets monotonous.
Okay.
I think that's part of like our work problems. Like people don't have enough else to do.
Enough other problems.
Doing one thing.
Yeah. You don't have other good problems.
And then it doesn't matter how good you are. You're gonna get worn out. Like you're going to be less good than you potentially could be because of these other factors.
Yeah.
Because it just becomes rote.
Yeah.
Doing the same shit over and over.
Yeah.
A grind.
Yeah. That'd be great, Peter. Yeah. But it's, okay, a perfect example for everyone listening, if you can't get into Rob and I's psychedelic mindset of just bantering. Perfect example right now that everyone in the world can relate to. Coronavirus. Look back to just December. How alien does that world seem?
Yeah.
Or last July, whatever. Let's just do a perfect year. Last July. What were your problems then? I got a sunburn. I fucking hate my job. Oh, I don't want to go up to the lake. I'm trying to get into graphic design school. I haven't lost weight fast enough. The girl I like is dating someone now. Fuck, I can't get this clothing company up and going. It's just all this. But if I could go back there now, I'd be like, everything's open. I can go to Walmart. I can go to the gym and lift weights. I can sit in the sauna. Man, if someone had a mask on, I'd be like, what the fuck's that guy wearing? What are you? Are you a surgeon? Like fucking douche, like dick cheese? What are you doing? Are you painting? Are you sandblasting something? Shit you don't. And what's in the news? It's, oh man, look at that guy did this and Trump made this tweet and yada yada yada. And is the economy really as good as we think about it? Versus now you're like, dude, at least you have an economy. Like, but it's. And now when that world comes back, whenever it is, because it seems like we're going to a second wave of COVID, we're going to appreciate it so much. It's going to be like Just Cause, not attaching tractors to fighter jets. I'm open to that, though. If anyone can put that together, you're just going to appreciate this tiniest stupid shit, right? Just the simplest shit is going to be so great for a while. And then we're going to completely used to it. And coronavirus is just going to be some fucking memory. Just like 9/11 is just some memory. But for a little bit, it's going to be really, really great. And then we're just going to completely take advantage of it and start bitching about other shit that's inconsequential. And in true human bullshit psychology, we're going to, in time, come back to this podcast in 10 years. We're gonna look back at coronavirus through rose-tinted glasses and be like, man, remember quarantine? Those were the good old days. We were just living life. Everyone was hanging out. But no, we weren't. It just fucking sucked.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't. It doesn't. I think things will change, but it'll be individual changes, which means the ramifications won't be seen until we're like in our 50s.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Shit doesn't change that quickly.
Yeah.
Even though everybody acts like it does, it's like even the things that people like, ideas or whatever that people are fighting, or like suddenly like, where did all these gay people come from? It's like, no, bitch, like
they're always there.
Just not been paying attention. That's the thing. It just wasn't on your radar.
They're just allowed to be. Yeah, they're just allowed to be gay now. That's all it is. Yeah.
Like that's.
When did all these people start bitching about not having health care? Well, it just, it got to a breaking point.
Right. Yeah.
Why are all these Africans angry? Well, once you shoot an unarmed African too many times, you kind of get a little pissed off. And, oh, okay. It's not everyone just woke up a month ago and said, today's a good day to riot. No, it boiled. When you finally get drunk and text the girl you like, it's like, dude, that was coming for a long time, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying you don't regret it, but
there's a buildup. Yeah.
There's a tsunami. It's like a tsunami. When a tsunami happens, for everyone that doesn't know, the analogy I always love about it is like the shift happens, the tectonic plates shift, and then there's a wall of water coming. But if you take the time from which it was formed, the initial, pulse of energy, to the time that it hits the shore, if you take that lifespan, well over 99 point, not just saying 99, but like truly, like mathematically, well over 99.9% of its lifespan of that surface phenomena is just this thing. And now obviously we can see it with satellites and buoys and shit, but let's just pretend that you don't. 99% of the time it is just this thing. You're not even there. It goes across the whole horizon, so you can't even tell. It's not until it crashes that the true power of it becomes known. But it's still the same thing. It's just the same burst of matter and energy.
Just transfer of energy. Because like that cracked took thousands of years to form.
Yeah.
And then another couple thousands of years to like build up pressure.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it happened all at once.
Yeah.
So like what you're doing is transferring thousands, like a long period of energy build up and then having it unleashed all at once.
Where did this come from? When the guy finally snaps.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. during the days of Pangea, when continental drift happened, 9 million years.
It started then. Yeah. When the guy finally comes into his office with a bat and just beats the shit out of his computer and cubicle and then says, "Fuck all of you, I hate you all." Where did that come from? Dude, that was building. I
understand it because there's 3 kinds of like murders, right? There's manslaughter, first degree, and second degree.
Yeah.
One is like premeditated. That's your tsunami buildup, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other one, second degree, is like we get hit by a meteor. It had nothing to do with us personally. We were just in the way.
Yeah. We were just in the way.
Right.
We hit the meteor.
I guess that would be more manslaughter. But like, yeah. It's shit happens in succession. Things don't just appear out of nowhere. That's like physically impossible.
Yeah.
There's too many of us doing too many things.
Yeah.
For that to be possible. That's why like I don't like the whole like. I guess like, do you see Schwarzenegger did that thing like the myth of the self-made man?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. And it's like, that's perfect. Like if Gold's Gym hadn't fucking supported him when he came out here and like given him those basic things he needed to fucking live,
dishes and shit,
he may have just fucking died on the beach, right? You know what I mean? Like it's just same man, same potential, but like if you don't have those things surrounding you, it's like a dam, right? You could have this fucking waterfall for thousands of years, and then one day somebody decides to harness it for energy.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't change what it was. Like it was always a waterfall, but now it's a waterfall that powers 9 cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Niagara Falls. Look at Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
It's been there before we were.
Yeah.
You know? So, but it needed, for us anyways, we needed to develop something to support it so that it could support us.
Yeah. It's
and
like
now it powers like the Northeast.
Yeah. It's like overnight successes. It's like he came out of nowhere, and it's like in your mind's eye.
Yeah. Exactly.
To this kid that's been shooting hoops in his driveway for the last 14 years, and then someone rolled their ankle, so coach put him in, and then he got on the highlight reel, and just so happened that someone's uncle's an NBA scout, happened to be at that high school game and saw so-and-so, and a couple of plane rides later, and now he's starting on the Lakers. Where'd this kid come from? The overnight sensation.
Right. Yeah.
To that kid, he's like, fuck you mean, where did I come from, you know?
Right.
That musician's so talented. Fuck you. He worked hard. He worked who's this young and upcoming kid? That kid's been shredding on his guitar for the last decade and a half. It just broke. It finally...
Literally, sometimes the difference is like for example, Slash, who like learned on a untunable classical guitar with 2 strings on it. You know what I mean? Like that's how he started. But like somebody along the way must have been like, all right, keep at it, or like one of his parents or grandmother or someone, right?
Someone was like,
whereas
keep going,
like there's some other kid who probably has the same potential, but was like took that guitar and started twanging on it, and their dad was like, "What are you doing, you fucking dummy?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Go down to the hardware store, get a job.
We lost a great guitarist.
We lost a
Hendrix.
Hendrix.
Shithead.
Yeah,
right?
we lost a Hendrix. We lost.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Right. Because when he was a kid and he tried,
and his dad told him,
and someone did the same thing to him. So he's like, it's like a fucking.
You're right.
Dude. Have you watched? Do you ever watch Netflix much?
I'll go on occasionally. I'm just too ADD. A series you
should watch.
I'll write it down. What is it?
It's just called Dark.
Dark. All right.
Yeah. It's German, but it's fucking so well done. You can put on dubs and they're pretty good. But it's, I don't want to spoil it, but it's kind of like involves this like small nuclear town, like a town with a nuclear reactor in it, in Germany, called Winden, and like these kids go missing, and nobody can find out like why or where or how or who, like fucking anything, just like gone, right? It starts in 86 and then picks up in like 2019. Right? So like it involves time travel.
I'm
I won't
listening.
say anything more.
I'm listening.
I don't want to spoil it for you because it's such a mindfuck.
Okay.
And while you're watching this show, you will start doing things and like thinking of things in different ways.
Okay.
Like it's such a mindfuck. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm stuck on that. I'm just going back. I'm stuck on that idea of like sometimes it's because like a kid's too poor, he can't even afford a guitar, and that's always a tragedy. But like, what about the kid who literally was just like, "What are you doing, you dipshit?" Like, and not just like you're playing at 2 a.m. It's, hey, dude, stop playing at 2 a.m. Like, you can't say "woe is me." Like, don't be a dick. Don't play at 2 a.m. when you live with people. But like, the person that just threw an offhand comment, what, you think you're going to be the next Hendrix? What, you think you're going to be the next Michael Jordan? It's like, you ever seen that interview with Elon Musk in like 2004, and he's like talking about his like dreams of like space travel? I think it's like 60 minutes. I could be butchering this, but the interviewer says, well, you know, actually we did a little background work ourselves, and we told, you know, these other like space legends like Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin or Boeing about your dreams, and here's what they said, and they're just shitting all over it. And you might see the meme, but like Elon starts to like tear up, and he's like, well, you know, like those are my heroes, and that like hurts, but he's like, I'm gonna do it. And now, like, he did it. 2020, he used his private company to put astronauts on the space station. But that's one thing I always think of is like when you see these just like bosses at whatever they're doing, Post Malone and Eminem, Oprah, whatever, these people that didn't take the beaten path, and you look at them and it's undeniably they're great. And then you see someone else doing this thing, and you're like, what? You think you're going to be the next Oprah? Like, you think you're... Hey, man, I get it if you're 5 feet tall and you want to be the next Shaq. That might not happen. But, like, in terms of just like, talent, like singing...
Could always be Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. Or who's that? Muggsy Bogues? Yeah. It's... But something like an instrument or an artist or a writer. Oh, what? You think you're going to be Stephen King? Stephen King threw away his first book after it was rejected 29 times, and his wife convinced him to literally take it out of the trash and submit it. Boom. Now we have Stephen King. J.K. Rowling, I think hers got turned down by 3 people. It was written on fucking napkins, and now we have Harry Potter. Like, or, okay, Led Zeppelin, right? You don't even say anything else. It's, how many people, it's not that they couldn't afford it. It's not. It was just some offhand comment by someone. Who the fuck? What do you think you're doing, man? You think you're doing that? You want to do what? Okay, dude. Okay. Why don't you go to school, get yourself a degree, and you can get yourself a job, and maybe you can retire. Start saving now. Have a wife. Settle down. What do you think you're gonna be, some rock star? What? Yeah, I kind of. All right, you fucking idiot. Like.
Sometimes I feel like you have more of a chance, like as long as you're being somewhat realistic about it, like as long as you have skill. I'm not talking about that guy who's like, I want to be a singer and like can't fucking sing, but like refuses to take a lesson. Like those people are a lost cause.
Yeah.
But someone with actual talent who like works and tries to
just doesn't give up,
develop themselves. Like, how do you know that just like joining some fucking 9-to-5 job is going to be better for them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you might be fucking stealing a real life opportunity from them, or detracting from. And I don't know, that's like our own fears.
Yeah. Jim
like,
Carrey.
my old man's fucking famous for that shit. Just like, it's like he's a meter reader when he was young. Like, just checking the fucking meters, electric meters. And then my aunt's husband at the time told him to take his whatever certification to become a lineman, right? And then he just joined the union, and he was basically there until the city amalgamated, and he took a package and then just got same union, so they placed him in another, he got into another company with his seniority. So it's like someone like that, but then I straight up watched that man who's like a great woodworker, but like crumble like a house of cards because he couldn't, like, he didn't have the balls to like figure out pricing on his own stuff.
Yeah.
But then my whole life was like that with me.
Yeah.
Why the hell are you doing that? Like, so when I came back from Pius, he straight up told me that I didn't earn my grades. I didn't get into university. That was all my aunt and uncle. They did everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I sat through classes. I took the SATs. I went for the interview at Oglethorpe. Like, I got the $17,000 a year scholarship. Yeah. Not them. They knew how to help me to get me to that point. You know what I mean? And Pius had, like, you know, we always had I can't even remember, not social workers, but, you know, the people that we would, like, talk to about going to school and shit.
Yeah.
So, like, there was structures, but I still had to, like, do the work.
Yeah.
But he was never, like, shit. I remember playing, like, Double Dragon on the Sega Master System as a kid. And, like, obviously I didn't know what I was doing. Just, like, fucking hammering buttons, right? Yeah. I was, like, 7 maybe. And he just walks by me and said, what the hell do you think you're doing? You don't even know what you're doing. Like, those kind of people have been around me my entire life. So, like, I get it. And it probably led to, like, a lot of my self-doubt and depression of my own.
So, yeah, I mean, definitely some people close in my life that it's just like you went out of your way to say that, right?
Like, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, it's...
Especially when you get older and you see, like, other people's relationships with their parents.
And you realize not all of them are yours. And you're like...
Wait, what?
You're like... And, yeah, when you first see it and you're like, oh, man... What a lucky family. And then you start to see like a second and a third and a 50th and you're like, wait, hold on.
I was actually I was like aggressively against it almost, like in an unhealthy way. Like when I first came to Atlanta, the support and love that like my uncle showed me was so
feels weird.
For me at first.
It feels weird.
Because I never had anybody take any interest in.
It feels like a luxury. It feels like a luxury. You don't want to get. It feels like a luxury, and you don't want to get used to it. You're like this.
Well, I felt like I was spoiled.
That's what I mean. You're like, what is all this?
Yeah, like
they're pampering me. They're telling me I'm the best ever.
Right, but he never was doing that. He was
that's how it seems. That's how it seems. Then.
But that's how it seemed. Right?
Yeah.
Because I was actually, I didn't realize that I was pretty smart and pretty talented. Like, it wasn't until I went to Pius that I started doing shit. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. So the high school I got kicked out of, because, you know, I went to high school here and I got expelled.
Yeah.
Basically. I tried to do a guitar class, right? But nobody was going to get me a guitar. So I had to kind of like borrow one from a friend, but the strings were so old it wouldn't stay in tune. So I didn't know how to ask for help at that age. So I was like 14. So when the class started, so I would like skip all of my classes, but I really wanted to go to guitar and like history.
Yeah.
So those are the only classes I would actually attend.
Yeah.
And the guitar class, I think I went like twice, but both times I couldn't get my guitar in tune, so I couldn't really join the class. So I just stopped going.
Yeah.
Like because I didn't know what else to do at that age.
Yeah.
Like to ask my dad for help was like off limits.
Yeah.
Because whether or not he would have said yes, I didn't know because he conditioned me already to just be like, sorry, garbage truck. He'd already conditioned me to like feel like you have to do everything by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I know that feeling very well. Yeah, it's weird when you get like love and support from a figure,
right?
And you're almost like, yeah, this isn't good. You're like, well, I'm being pampered, and the reality is you're like, oh, that's just how like the overwhelming majority of people interact with each other. It's like, you know, it's like that hacky like boomer joke, like my wife called me and said, honey, you wouldn't believe it, I just passed someone going the wrong way on the highway. I just passed another one. I just passed a third one. And then like you watch the news and there's a car on the wrong side of the highway, and it's like, it's not that everyone's going the wrong way. You are.
Right.
It's kind of a depressing thing when you like see something else, or like, and you're like, oh, what a nice relationship. And you're like, oh, what another one. Wow, what a coincidence. I saw 2 in the same day. And then after a year, you're like, hold on. But at the same time, I mean, it's also very optimistic, because it's like what Duncan Trussell once said. If you walk all around the world, take planes all around the world, go on different cruises, you're fucking on a mule in Vietnam, you're you're on a glider over the Sahara, you're in New York, and you've got dog shit on your shoe and you don't know it. You just think the world smells like shit. You can see everywhere. You can be at a concert. You can be fucking meeting the president. You can be in Hawaii. You can be... Yeah. Everything smells like shit. And then one day you change, you go, oh, I think it's just my shoes. And you try on someone else's shoes. He goes, that's true. This is probably my favorite Duncan Trussell quote. He goes, that's true healing. True healing is realizing you were never sick. That's true healing. He goes, and it's the best thing in the world, because all of a sudden, it's like when you're little and the light's coming through your window at night and it looks like a scary arm, but it's literally just like the moonlight on a tree branch. It's not that like there's a scary monster, but then someone went out and shot it. You're like, oh, the monster's dead. You're like, there was no monster. It was just an illusion, right? Yeah. That's what it is. So like when you start meeting other people and like you realize how nice they are and everything, and you start to realize at first it's depressing because you're like, oh, do I just not have that? But then it's like, oh wait, I'm just in this like one tiny little bubble where that isn't the case. Right. You're like, the whole world is like that, or it seems to be a large portion. Wow, if that doesn't fucking shoot some juice in a life, you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, it's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, yeah, I guess both of, like, in my life, like, I never knew my parents together, even as, like, literally the thought of my parents together, like looking at their wedding album is so fucking weird for me.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, these are two people who have hated each other my entire life. Like,
it's like that
they've
picture
never
of
conversed unless it's to punish me. You know what I mean?
It's that picture of Rumsfeld and Saddam shaking hands from the 80s.
Right? Yeah. That's essentially what I'm looking at when I look at old pictures. So it's just
Trump
really
and Hillary arm in arm.
And then the two people who have been like the kindest to me in my life, neither of them are blood relatives. Neither of them are even legally in my family anymore. Because, so they have zero obligation to me whatsoever. But they still, if I really needed them, I know I could go to them.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt that way with my immediate family.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I mean, I know. That's not to say I don't have a wonderful family. I'm not. Don't whoever's listening, don't take that away at all. No. It's more so the idea. I understand. Like in relationships in my life, I've been either familial or romantic or friendship. It can be, but it's depressing, but it does give way to like the greatest sense of relief when you realize you're like, oh, I just have dog shit on my shoe. Right? This highway is so bumpy, and then you realize it's just your tire. And you're like, oh, this radio station sucks. Oh, wait, no, my speakers just suck. Right? Yeah. That is yeah. And you're when you said earlier, like, those people that are singing and they suck, but they refuse to give up. It's like that first part is like admirable, but then like they won't take a lesson, and it's like, okay, your heart's in the right place, but like you're not gonna, I'm never, it doesn't matter if I'm 5 feet tall. I'm never gonna stop trying to get into the NBA. Hey, I get that, man, but you're practicing tennis. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, heart's in the right place, bro. Let's just.
Or like you're trying desperately, all of your waking hours, all you're working on is your dunk. It's like, dude, why? Work on that fucking low to the ground game.
Yeah. Or,
like,
okay, perfect. What if someone had just fucking bought some of Hitler's watercolors? Or just told them, hey, keep with it. No one's buying them right now? Okay. Practice harder, and maybe in 2 years.
Another example, I don't know if you like, I can't remember. I'm not like a huge basketball guy, but there was this player way back when who would only throw his free throws underhand.
Yeah,
But everybody would like give him so much shit for it because it like looks goofy as hell, right?
Yeah.
But the guy had like a 98% hit rate, but like nobody else would do it. And he's like, they're like, how do you have some? He's like, because I throw it like this and it always fucking goes in.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. You get these things in humanity. Like I was talking to my girlfriend. So she's from Japan. Japan's a very homogenous culture. It's like they have a saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down.
Yes. Yes.
So,
yeah.
Like if that gives you like the perfect example of what their society was like. Yeah, it's changing a lot. But like I told her, okay,
perfect.
So in Japan, you have this like mentality that like, okay, we're all supposed to be the same, da 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 da. But then like you look at TV, and one of the biggest TV stars they have is this like 300-pound transgender woman, right? Like, not an attractive woman by any means, like, but she's funny as fuck, and she doesn't take shit from anybody.
Fuck yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so if you think that everything is like has to be like this, how did these people get famous? How?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
They must have done. They must at some point have said, "Fuck this," and the world didn't end. Nobody burned them down, right? They just continued pushing until they got.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that person become? Yeah, when you see a Post Malone and you're like,
she's on TV like 6 hours a day because that's how Japanese TV works. But it's like she's everywhere. Everybody knows this person.
Yeah,
but like
that guy,
she's not typical Japanese at all. But yet everybody seems to like her.
Yeah,
like somehow she touches everybody in some way that people aren't like frothing at the mouth to get her off TV. Yeah. If anything, she's on TV all the fucking time, every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That person got to that. You know, it's one thing when it makes perfect sense. It's like, why does everyone like Tom Brady? It's because he's tall, handsome, successful. And it's like those kind of, you're just like, yeah, I get it. But like, not to take away from his work ethic. But then you look at like you're like, what? You want to make your own music? And you're like, yeah, look at Post Malone. You're like, well, that's Post Malone. And you're like,
can't do that.
You're like, look at Post Malone. No one was ever like, yeah, that's okay. I'm hearing out your idea. You want to grow your hair out, not stick to a genre, have tattoos on your face, and be a baller. No one was like, do it. They're like, no one does that, man. But now there's Post Malone, and if you say I'm going to be like that, you can't do that. But that guy's doing it. That guy did it by saying fuck off. Just fuck off. You know, I'm going to land rockets straight up after I launch them. You dipshit. Elon Musk did it. Well, yeah, he's Elon Musk. How did he get to that point? You know, it's the tsunami. I want to be a tsunami one day. You're just a bump in the ocean. But look at the crash on the shore. Well, yeah, that one crashed. You're just how the fuck did that one get? Because if everyone could do that, if everyone could be Post Malone, if everyone could be LeBron, everyone would do it. But very few have, and that's why you know their name. So why are they that way? Because at a certain point, they just said, fuck everyone. But you also got to be realistic. You can't just say, fuck everyone, I'm going to be the best basketball player ever, and you just keep working on your dunk game. And it's like, hey, man, heart's in the right place. But, yeah, man, that's how I feel, dude. And it's like, wait, so what do you want? What's your podcast? I've had so many people telling me, you got to stick to one thing. You know, you could do like a comedy podcast, or do like a military podcast, or do like I had on Brad Smith, the armored truck driver. You should do like you interview people that drive armored trucks, maybe tanks. And it's like, no, I got this idea where I just kind of want to talk to anyone that interests me. And we don't even have to stick on the topic of what they're known for. We can just talk. And as long as it's interesting, maybe it will take off. Like what? Well, I don't know. I mean, like, look at Joe Rogan's, but I want to do Joe Rogan with my own twist. You're not going to be Joe Rogan. Well, he just smokes pot and does whatever he wants.
Barely Joe Rogan. So, like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like just some idiot.
He's just some
he's literally some idiot
that just worked his dick off and just kind of said fuck off. And he did it.
That's it.
And he did it. And no, not everyone that works their ass off and says fuck off makes it, but everyone that makes it did work their ass off and say fuck off. Right? So
you do have to set up certain things. Like you got
to be real.
You have to look at the path he took.
So I do got to get a job. I do got to go get.
He was a comedian, so like he wasn't the best, greatest, funniest comedian by any regard.
Not at all.
I'm glad he doesn't do stand up anymore.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
But like,
goddamn, can you hold a conversation?
Those people, and he at least had the intellectual curiosity to like learn from those people.
Yeah.
He learned about how to be an entertainer.
Yeah. And
did Fear Factor. He did.
Yeah.
You learn things doing all this shit. All these little things that seem like, oh fuck, what the fuck am I doing with my time? They all mean something. They all add to your end equation.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've like used, because I've done so many different jobs, and the amount of times I've not like actively thinking, oh, I did this in this time, and so it's just like I've done it once before. I've seen this play out before. I know what to do to like change this course this time.
Yeah. It's like that saying. It's like it's only insanity, or the differentiation between insanity and genius is profitability. That guy's a fucking nutcase. What does he want to do? He wants to talk about DMT on interview people and be sponsored by a fleshlight? What a jack! He just got signed for $100 million. See, that is an inspirational person. He knew what he was doing from the beginning, and it's like, fuck off. Fuck off. Like, you know,
I don't think he knew. He just like he kept at it.
But
right?
that's like, what I mean. It's the switch in the public perception. He's just a jerk off. He's sponsored by the fleshlight. They talk about dicks. They fucking talk about DMT and monkeys. He doesn't know what he's doing. Fast forward, he just got signed for $100 million. Well, that's a hardworking businessman, and it's like, no, it's just it turned the dollar. He. What does he want to do? Everyone's going to log in and talk to people from college. That's stupid. Oh, it's Facebook. Okay. Yeah. You're a jackass until you can sell tickets.
Right.
It's goddamn if you don't feel like a jackass until that moment. And that is where the fuck I still am, Rob. I'm trying to turn this thing. Because up until now, I'm just a fucking jack off of the podcast.
But eventually, and again, you can't look at it like it's just you. You gotta look at the connections you're making, the network you're making, like your personal. Like, and don't be afraid to, and don't be a fucking beggar, but don't be afraid to ask people for help if you're curious about something or you want to know about something or if you got an idea. Like, is this possible? It's like chances are, if they're knowledgeable about the thing that they're doing, that idea may have like flown through their head, right?
Yeah.
But then you're coming from like a place of no experience, and you had that same idea, that same thought, and maybe because they were so embroiled in the thing they were doing, they just like thought, no, it can't happen, happen. But then, like, wait, this dumb guy thinks it could happen. You know what I mean? It's like, he doesn't know anything about this, and I had that thought at one point. Maybe I should revisit that.
Yeah.
Human ideas don't just, like, I have an idea, and then, like, fucking happens. Like, it's not like
they're tsunamis.
Shit takes so long.
They're tsunamis.
So many different, what?
They're tsunamis.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything
is connected.
And you good to go for another 10 minutes? That's why, I mean, I try to stick with, I hope I haven't, I don't think I have begged anyone for anything. Like, please subscribe, that would help, but like, I haven't tried to get anyone on just because they're well known.
I'm talking like, okay, I guess I should flesh this out. I mean, like, you see these YouTubers who's like, they
smash that like
to some rich person, or
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no.
Like if I had Oprah on, it would be for no other reason than to have on Oprah. And to me, it'd be like,
that's tell me about your life.
Yeah, that's your life. And we can smile and please like, share, and subscribe. No, it's like I definitely try to have on like bigger names, but these are all people that like I saw something. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, hey man, do you want to talk about this? Like, not just like, hey, like, hey Rihanna, you want to come on to my podcast so we can talk about your because I don't give a fuck,
Right.
I love Eminem. I'd love to have Eminem on. Fuck, why not? Like, but it's it's other people like other shit I don't care about. I don't. Whatever. It's
perfect example of this is I don't know if he's got money. I'm sure he's comfortable to take care of himself. But there's this journalist from Vancouver, a music journalist called Nardwuar. He's referred to as Nardwuar.
Nardwuar.
And he kind of looks like a mix of like Weird Al Yankovic and like an English professor.
So he looks like someone named Nardwuar.
Artists who are really good know him and and will like seek him out for interviews. You know what I mean? Because this guy knows his shit so well, but is like very low key. But his interviews are like fucking. He's like the Larry King that you've never heard of like fucking music interviews.
Yeah.
But he's known. He was more well known in the '90s because he was on like our version of MTV, basically when it was a music channel. Nowadays it's all online mostly, but he clearly still has a following.
Yeah.
Like because he fosters real relationships with people, not just like, so how much of a kickback are you going to give me for this interview? It's like he knows the artist, he's talked to them.
The metaphorical making dick jokes, like
right. He asks real questions. He knows, unlike going on like some morning show. It's like, so how do you feel about this?
Use your new book.
Right. Yeah. Like, if anything, casual people don't like him because his interviews are so like
doesn't give a fuck. He just doesn't.
Well, it's
care.
Industry. Like it's industry talk, right?
Okay.
He's talking about things that musicians and artists understand, but that the general public might have no idea about. Not just like, so when's your new hit single coming out? Like,
yeah,
it's not.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Yeah, it's. Yeah. Like, well, yeah. Whenever I've had people say, like, I always joke about making dick jokes, but like, I don't think I've ever actually made like a dick joke on here. To me, dick joke is like it's like a phrase. It's like a metaphor for just like, instead of being like, so Rob, tell me how Canada is. What is that like? Right. That must be crazy. Instead, it's just like, let's talk about ears and how weird trees are today. Like that's what I mean by like a realistic like. Yeah, that's what I mean by dick jokes. Like, yeah, because
that's how you get to the
real person
the meat of what a person's thinking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We all have our preloaded 15 seconds. Sell yourself.
Well, I'm so and so, and I. Yeah, like if I met Trump, I think I would ask him. I'd be like, Is there a Secret Service member like in the bathroom with you? Like, can you wank off? That's what, because like, I mean that's what everyone's really thinking. Like, wait, can you have like diarrhea? Can you jerk off? Do they know what you're looking at? Like, because you're
and you disarm the person.
Yeah,
because they're expecting like something else.
Completely. So tell me about your second round of tax cuts, Donald, and you're running for president again. Wow. No, it's just like, yo, man, like. Can you just have access to any porn through the NSA? Can you just like look at anything? Frick, that's what you're thinking, right? Like Post Malone. Like if I could ask him, would you be like, what's it like to be a rock star? I'd be like, so you just have like all this money. Like at any point you can just wake up and play video games for like a month straight and and there's just no one there telling me to do it. That's awesome. Because like that's what I think about. It's not like, what's it like to be an influence? Like, you're telling me, like, if I can get this podcast going, I can just get my own apartment and just, like, not have to live with my parents and just do my own thing as long as I'm paying my own bills? Yeah. Like, that's what hey, Tom, what was it like building a podcast? No. So you can just play Just Cause? Yeah, I just decided I was playing Just Cause this week. I just canceled all my podcasts. To me, that's the meat of the conversation. 4 more minutes, Robin. I refuse to cut this early.
No worries. We don't want to fill with the last 4 minutes.
Normally I don't give a shit, but today I just decided that I want to do these 4 minutes. Let's see how shitty a 4-minute forced conversation is. This is what normal TV is. So what are we going to talk about? If you have nothing to talk about, when I have people on my podcast and they're like, so what are we going to talk about? I'm like, it's just normal shit. Just normal shit. When I like call up my friends on, hey man, you want to hang out this weekend? Yeah, I don't know, just play some video games, get some beer. Yeah. What are we gonna chat about? I don't know. Probably not gonna talk for hours on end. We're just gonna drink and play video games, like,
Socialization and conversation are like an art. It's like You don't fucking, you know the Mona Lisa, but we don't see Da Vinci's 9 million other fucking doodles and dick drawings that he, you know what I mean? The most realistic dick he made. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's not in there.
No.
But he did it. Like, at some point, he drew all these fucking shit because nobody's just born able to do things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when like I have on like a specific guest that does a specific thing and I'm having them on because that's what they're known for, like I get that. But like if I ever have to find myself going like, what are we going to talk about? Then I just like I don't invite that person, or I'll like rescind the invitation. Like it's never like, okay, well, let's see, Rob and I covered this, that, and the other thing. How, you know, okay, he knew my brother. Okay, we both went to the same high school. Okay, I wonder if Rob and I have enough material for another. No, it's just literally like, hey, Rob, you want to do a Saturday podcast? No, man, I'm going to be partying all day. Hey, Rob, you want to do a Sunday? Passed out early. Monday? Yeah, sure. Gucci, let's do it. What are you talking about? I don't know. It's not even a question, though. It's not just that I don't know. That just wasn't even an exchange. You want to do a podcast tomorrow? Yeah. 11? Sure. Earlier? Yeah, sure. All right. Cool.
Well, because I know for a fact that, like, we could literally fill, like, a week's worth of podcast with just talking about, like, your brother.
Absolutely. I mean? Yeah.
Literally,
we could just,
because this shit we could dive into.
Yeah.
On so many different levels. So it just depends on how the conversation flows.
Yeah. Yeah. I did have one guy on, and I respect his upfrontness. It was Sean Coots. He's been on twice. He's a dude that does parachuting or skydiving, wingsuiting. He like wingsuited over the Palm Jumeirah in Dubai. And he and I did 2 podcasts full of just like all of my questions. And I remember I was trying to fill spots. And one time I texted him and I was like, yo, do you want to do a podcast next week? And I love and I respect the upfrontness. He just said, do we have enough material for another cast? And I said, yeah, I don't think so. He goes, yeah, I don't think so, man. And I was just like, word. And he was like, good luck, man. And I was just like, I appreciate, you know, when you're talking to a girl or she texts you and you're like, hey, you know what? You're a cool guy. Not what I'm looking for. You're like, thank you. Hurts a little, but thank you. He's like, do we have enough material for another podcast? And at first I was taken back, and then I was like, I don't think we do. I was just like, thank you. Yeah, let's not beat around the bush, man. No, we don't. Thank you. Yeah. With that, Canadian correspondent, Rob Anton.
For now. Don't know how much longer.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. I forgot. You might move to Japan.
Yeah. Then we'll have to do this at like 3 a.m.
I don't give a fuck. That would be awesome.
Then it'll be starry night outside instead.
Yeah. You can be Japanese correspondent. You can be Asian correspondent. You can be Asian correspondent. Well, Tom, it's dark over here. Oh, and I'm Tom.
Because the data is like different and shit like that. I'll probably end up eventually getting a new phone. So like I could totally live stream from the streets.
And they're ahead of us.
I can walk you through like a neighborhood or whatever.
Not only that, you're ahead of us. So we can literally do podcasts in the future.
From the future, yes.
Rob, dude, that's when we need to do breaking. Be like, and here with an exclusive look at 2021. Rob, how's 2021? Well, it looks like we're still surviving. Okay, the Earth is still round. Yep, exclusive look at 2021.
We could do all sorts of crazy shit. I could take you to like, we could do like Japanese fireworks festival.
Yeah.
Thing is insane. Like I've been to a small town one, and it still like blew anything I've ever seen in North America out of the water.
Fuck yeah!
It's like, did you see that Reddit post where it's like I can't remember the city, like all of this city's fireworks went off at the same time.
Oh, yesterday.
And I was like,
LA,
still not even like, really? Still not even the same.
Fuck
like,
yeah!
You can feel these ones. It's crazy.
Fuck yeah!
Just like, yeah.
All right. Now you have to move to Japan, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Rob. Till next time.
Right,
Peace, buddy. Take care.
Keep the shit off your shoes.
Thank you. You too, sir.